Janosz shouldn't be allowed to paint for the rest of his life. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. And what is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we about to get into another wonderful episode of Talk Shop. And today, we talking about none other than our paranormal investigators and eliminators, Ghostbusters, Volume 4, the trade paperback that collects issues. We are here at the end of the first series, and this is a fun ride. Some of the fun things about this is that we get to see more into Winston's life. We get to see more into Egon's life with his old friends, and we bring back Janosz. Some of the cool moments in this trade are like, we get to see the rookie from the video game in Chicago battling a ghost shark, if you will, and I'm just gonna say, hey, it's better than Sharknado, even though it's just on the printed page. And we get to see the Ghostbusters finally wrap that up and get welcomed back to New York in only the way that New York can welcome them back. And we also get another look at Janine's boyfriend, who is kind of an archetype of Egon, but Winston brings up a very important point. Never trust a white guy with a ponytail. I think that's something that you could definitely live with. But we get to see them go out to the Met. They go on this wonderful date. And on this date, there happens to be a ghost. And that's when we find out what the Ghostsmashers have been doing all this time with Ron Alexander. They're, showing up at the scene, shooting at the ghost, blowing the ghost up. And they're like, hey, we're so much better than the Ghostbusters because we blow the ghost up. And Egon approaches the guy like, yo, energy can't be destroyed. Like, what are you doing with these ghosts? Because you're just blowing them up. And he's like, hey, cuts them short, rides off. And Egon is kind of perplexed to like what's going on. So he even tries some of these dispersion techniques with Slimer and finds that it takes about 3 hours for Slimer to kind of reconstitute himself. And when he reconstitutes himself, he's a little more angry than he was at first, which is understandable. So inside of these issues, we still get to see what's going on with Laura Parr. It's kind of expected. I won't give that away. But Ray has another dream. And this time, the Belushi ghost is coming back in a very interesting way and letting him know about this reconstitution that's going to be happening pretty soon, and that it is the Ghostbusters' job to take care of something like this. And, during this whole rigmarole of Peter and Peck, of Egon and Janine, of the ghost teams meeting and having their beef, you find out that there's so much people drama that they're forgetting about the real ghost threat that's looming in the atmosphere around them, because the Ghostsmashers are just blowing up ghosts instead of trapping them. And it's explained very well by Ray, where he says, it's like putting salt into water. Like, you put salt into water at first, it dissolves very easily. But the more salt you put in the water, the less the water can take, and that salt just builds up and builds up and builds up. And similar to the way that salt would build up at the bottom of your cup, Egon says that you've technically, in a ghost way, been sweeping dirt up under the rug, and now the rug has been kicked up and we have ants. And metaphors like that, examples like that, really show you in a small scale the kind of problems that the Ghostsmashers, oh boy, are creating by just trying to be the cool new alternative to the Ghostbusters. And I'm glad to see in a situation like this that Walter Peck was actually on the Ghostbusters side. Like, dude, after this is over, we're putting you in jail for this. And we still don't know exactly where he got the Ghostbusters plans from. We'll probably find that out in the future. But we do get a cool link back to two stories. One is a story reaching back to Ghostbusters 2 with Janosz. You see him in the psych ward or the mental jail, the mental asylum, whatever, and he's starting to paint again. And the guy says, it's good to see you painting again, and it's nice to see you getting out of your funk or whatever. But Janosz should not be painting, because when he paints, problems happen. And on the other side, we have Eugene, who is Egon's old friend, realizing that the energy that has been displaced, the energy that is out there that has collected into this huge super ghost, is there because the death that he has trapped needs to be released to take these spirits onto their next journey or to their next place in life. And it's interesting to see a sort of sad goodbye, but I'm glad at the same time that he got to say his piece to Egon, and then also that, they got to kind of set the paranormal activity back to sort of normal. But before I go any further, let me remind you guys that you can find me on Black Hollywood Live. That's right, the first online network for African Americans. You can find them on blackhollywoodlive.com, where they do celebrity interviews, after shows, sports talk, geek, nerd, tech, a whole slew of things. And you can check that out from week to week at youtube.com/Black Hollywood Live. Now, there's a couple of things that I left out because I know you guys are either reading along or you've already read it and are ready to get down in the comments. But I like the fact that they keep coming back to Winston's story of being in the military. I like the fact that him and Tia have now got engaged. And I'm very interested to see where Janosz goes from here, since he's possessed again. He's one of the most possessible people in Ghostbusters. I'd have to say that. But guys, I want to know your thoughts, your ideas. If you haven't seen it, the link to buy it is in the link below. Holla at me, I'm gonna holla at you, and keep on reading some Ghostbusters, because it is great, man. If you have not read it and you love Ghostbusters, it's definitely for you. So I'm out, but before I bounce, I got to tell you guys to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out. All my videos are there, from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. And then hit me up on shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. And don't forget one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right. There's no better way that I can tell people that you like what you are watching. And of course, those shout outs got to go to LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please, man, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And stop Janosz from painting on anything. Peace.